Now let me tell you the tale that begins east of Lafayette and south of Breaux Bridge, a forsaken place called Lake Martin. Many do not know my family tree has bloody roots in the swamps of Louisiana. My blood is tainted with the success and failures of many a amphibious soul who shrimped and survived in the mucky waters and Spanish moss for many a generation. Once a decade, I make pilgrimage back to the dark, awaiting Southlands to honor those who have fallen before me, trying to keep our Thibodaux family name pulsating in the mud that comprises the eternal soul of Lake Martin. Now, the devil has many incarnations on God's green precious earth, and unfortunately for the Thibodaux family, one of them is Father Gabriel, a soulless, one-eyed, red-striped, 19-foot alligator who has tried to rob us Thibodaux of our dominion for an eternity. Through bloody strife and turmoil, we have managed to keep Father Gabriel at bay. But Father Gabriel lurks beneath the oily black surface, just waiting for any unsuspected moment of weakness to drag one more of my kin to the sweet, wet embraces of hell. Just last week, I landed at Lafayette Regional, then chartered a boat back to Breaux Bridge, where I received blessings from the Atacapa tribe to proceed forth into my family swamp. I was carrying a machete in one hand and satchels of the botanicals, anise, fennel, and allegedly wormwood as traditional re-entry gift. Our Thibodaux absinthe stills populate the area, and our product is legendary in the region. I was there to not only contribute to our legacy, but also to pay respects to Great Uncle Henry, who was mercilessly taken asunder by Father Gabriel while he was fishing. I am only thankful he was not around to see the recent passing of his favorite artist, Jimmy Buffett. I made it clear to cousins Remy and Dio that I was there only to drink to his memory and not to behead Father Gabriel in a fit of primal rage. They know I have a tendency to see red when I hear the beast's claws adding another soul to his tally. My blood turns hot red enough to provide convectional heat for all the stills in the swamp. We danced and playfully walloped each other while enjoying the liquid fruits of our labor, and eventually Remy and Dio fell under the spell of the green fairy and were quickly whisked away into chaotic slumbers. I softly played Jimmy Buffett on the scratchy phonograph and rolled a cigarette on the shoreline, gazing into the dark abyss, where the porch lanterns only slightly permeated the charcoaled air around me. The sounds of frogs and crickets matching the rolling sound of Buffett's life is just a tire swing. I took a puff and turned the phonograph off when the song ended to allow myself a wall meditation. I plucked my machete from the mud and slowly cut a crimson line across my chest so that Father Gabriel would smell my blood like a sweet nectar, calling him home to destiny. I raised my swamp sword as my eyes widened and burned with some ancestral stew of righteous anger. The crickets and frogs reduced gradually into ritualistic silence until I saw one glowing red eye emerge from the dark, distant surface. I screamed his forsaken name, and the devilish orb started to grow bigger and bigger, and a deep, bellowing growl echoed through the moss like 1,000 drums of doom. I could smell his scaly, rotten soul like he's just returned from some brimstone cesspool. His tail whipped around and the water danced, as I could tell he wanted this as much as I did. Someone to send him back to hell where he belonged. When his mouth opened, I could hear the screams of all the souls he devoured, and it was like the entire darkness of the swamp was pouring out from his gaping jaws in a fine mist. I began my rage-filled descent, my sword raised, my lungs filled with fire, and my eyes white phosphorus. Just as I was about to lunge into hell itself, a loud blast, almost as if divine intervention rang through the air, and time stood still for a split second. Remy had evidently been awakened by my primal screams, and he shot his double barrel into the air as if he thought we were being raided by rival families. I looked at armed, bare-butt Remy as my rage had been replaced by shock, and then back at the waters where Father Gabriel no longer was and perhaps never will be again. The crickets and the frogs came back, and I took my leave the next day after proclaiming defeat to my cousins over some shrimp etouffee. When I finally do escape this tangled web of vengeance, I hope to bury Father Gabriel's body here in the desert, far from the swamp, far from his cursed comfort, where he will know eternal shame and guilt from strangers and Thibodaux kin alike. I will be stopping by to discuss costs, hopefully soon in the near future. 5 stars.